episode of CGI Talks. With a growing diaspora, what we normally sense is you have a lot of community organizations cropping up in different regions. Now, this is always a mix. You have newly formed organizations with new missions, and you will also have legacy organizations that have been serving the community for a long time. Now, today, our guest is representing one such organization which has a long legacy of around 55 years if we look at this present year. And they have been serving the community through a lot of outreach activities and cultural activities. So I would say it's one of those earlier or the beginning organizations that has been in this Frankfurt region. And with that pride, let me welcome the president of Kerala Samajam Frankfurt, Mr. Dipin Paul, for today's episode of CGI Talks.
Thank you, Arun. Nice to have in the CGI Talks.
Great to have you. And for your busy time, as I said, it's 55 years, so there is a lot of activities happening, I understand. So just in the usual format, we start by getting to know the person, his profile, and also let's have a short summary about your background, where you grew up, and how were your journey to Germany, how did that happen, and also let's see that.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So the thing is that I have a financial industry background.
Okay.
After my education in banking in Kerala, then I joined one of the banks, leading banks in Kerala. After that, I have joined a company called the Stock Holding Corporation of India. That is the largest custodian in the sense that in the stock market, the securities earlier were in the paper form. At that time, this has to be kept in vaults. This were handled in a specific way of like handling the gold or something like that. So this has to be kept somewhere, and it is later on in the 90s, this has dematerialization process started. So before that, everything was physical. You have to move certificates from one location to another location when somebody buys, somebody sells. So it is in millions. So it's a huge value. So that was the activity, and this organization was formed for this handling of the certificates for the largest financial institutions in India, like ICICI, LIC, GIC, UTI, like that. So I joined that company, but I joined when the dematerialization process started. That was in 90s.
Okay.
And that was where our industry transformed, even when the mutual fund industry came into a situation. So I joined there and worked for around 6 years there. Then after that, then in 2000, that the tech boom started.
Yeah.
So the tech industry need people who have knowledge in the financial industry or any other industries, manufacturing or production, something like that. So then I decided that, okay, let's move on to the latest version of the industry. So I quit that and joined TCS.
Okay.
I joined them, and then when I joined there, immediately there was a requirement for some projects here as a consultant. Then I came here in 2006.
Okay.
So after that, I'm here in Frankfurt as a IT consultant, and I worked in a few years. I worked as a consultant for the Indian company TCS. Later on, I changed my career path into freelancer.
Oh, okay.
Then I joined the present company, TWS, or Art of Dutch.
Okay, understood.
That is my background in the career.
Yes, sure, understood. So this just coming back to your initial point of dematerialization, should I understand that you are moving all this physical to a more digital format?
Yeah, it is moving in the sense that every data in the physical certificate will be digitized.
Okay.
It is not only simply scanning the whole data, who is owning, who was the previous owner, all those things, everything was digitized. Then this paper form is destroyed.
Understood. So this was around 90s or?
Yeah, it was started in 90s, but it active in the market somewhere around in 95 and all.
Oh, okay. Okay, understood.
So I joined somewhere in 99.
And which part of Kerala are you from?
I am from the Ernakulam district, a place called Perambur. So I was working in initially Cochin.
Okay.
And then I moved sometimes to Thrissur, then back to Cochin again.
Okay. Yeah, understood. Okay, so since you have a background in the banking sector and the economic side of industry, and since you've been here from 2006 onwards, so almost 15-20 years of knowledge you had about how this economy has changed, right? we are in a current phase where there is a lot of debate happening between concerns about how the economic situation is, and on the other side, there are also people having great hope in the the structure and foundations that German economy is having. So, as you, as a person who is from the banking side, and how do you kind of see that, and what are your views?
So if we look into the banking industry, the thing is that there was last 10, 15 years, a lot of transformation happened. It happened here as well as in India. The major part is this IT took most of the services. So the some of the even the cash distribution and the counters are not there. And the trading earlier the trading used to happen in the floor by making auctions like that. All those things vanished. So it is a huge change happened, and as India is leading the tech industry, we have taken a lot of advantage of that. I mean, earlier, if you took into 2000s, then we were slightly behind the standards which were followed by major countries. But now we are at par or above the standards of major countries. So we have grown to a large extent, and most of our products and services are completely IT dependent.
Yeah. I think that is also one of the reasons that the diaspora is growing in particularly Frankfurt, the banking region itself.
Yeah.
Right. So let's now shift to our main topical part about Kerala Samajam and its growth, because that itself is a big topic that we need to uncover. So actually, if we look at the Kerala diaspora, the Malayali diaspora's activities in Germany as a whole, coming out of the Frankfurt scope itself, right from historical periods, there is a lot of connect happening between Germany and India, as we know, right? So including our dictionary was a contribution from a German missionary who came to India. So there is always this historical connect right from the missionaries and other, even during later on freedom struggle period, also we had Malayalis who have been involved over here. But covering that huge scope is big for us. So then let's come to more to the nearby future part, where we had this big inflow of healthcare services professionals who came around the 60s. So that has been a big contribution or a big foundation for the Malayali diaspora, I think, over here, right? So now we have shifted, obviously, to a long path. Now we have the second generations and even third generations as well, and fourth generation, even fourth as well, so there, right? So how do you see that shift happening, from that healthcare services, nurses population that was there to now?
The thing is that in the 1960s, later to 1960s, a lot of students also came here, and they were studying in some of the universities here. And as they were very young, they wanted to have unite together, and they want to have their own culture and their own sharing of ideas, and they want to have a group, because even though it is requested or it is needed to be mingling with the German community, they have demands for their own our own culture to be mixed with, and they have to address their own issues which they cannot address to any other forums. All those demands created this association, and at that time nurses came here, students came here, and they were into job on a later stage, but the nurses came here. Some were directly studying here, and some were directly came into the job. These all came through the missionaries or through the churches. It was easy because we know that in Kerala, nurses are recognized very well. They are considered to be important part of our life, and their work is mostly appreciated everywhere.
Yeah.
And maybe that demand created effort created demand here, and they came here. So initially they were coming in a single, and later on they get into marriage, and then their next generation started. So in 1975, I think there was a restriction by Germany that externals, foreigners are not allowed here. So a few years there was a blockage for that. But during that time also they could not bring more people, but they have to mix together, they have to mingle together, they have to exchange ideas, they have to address their issues. There could be a lot of issues like what we see today also. So that all demands, especially when it comes to culture, they want to have a drama, singing, or they want to play some games. So which they may not be able to always do with the German community. So that created this association record in 1970s.
So looking at that nurses demography itself, now comparing like initially 60s and 70s, it was more like a sustenance for their family point of view that they came over here, like financial stability and all. But if you look at the period now or the period afterwards, it became more of a career orientation, right? Building your skills, and nursing had become like that. And there's also the difference between that time, as you mentioned, there was this missionaries and church who built a structure, but now you also have consultants and all who are working on this. So how do you find that difference in the demography?
The thing is that earlier in 70s, 60s, 70s and all, the people came from Kerala here, whatever job, especially nursing, they wanted to support their families. Right? It was a necessity. And they were supporting their families and tried to bring their brothers or sisters or their cousins or whoever it is eligible. They brought them here. Not necessarily into nursing industry, but other industries also, because it is a question of survival, getting better quality of life, better, I would not say, I mean, we always will have a eager to improve our life, quality of life. So that part, and their depending families as to India, depending families were there, they have to be supported. That was the situation in that time. But now it is changed, because now people plan before they complete their education that if I have to go to nursing, then I have to go to UK or Germany or some other countries. They plan it that way, and it is not, I mean, most of the families are well to do there, and it is not that for the necessity they are coming as a career path, because they feel that they have a better, comfortably
Work-life balance.
work-life balance here, and they can support their families more if needed, or even they can bring their families here so their kids can be grown here, or they can move to different countries. I mean, different aims are there, but from the necessity to the career orientation, it has changed a lot. That is what we see in the current, because earlier it was support where people are coming through, as I said, this missionary works and churches, and then now it is all a business.
Yeah.
Now it is a big business. The business, it is good for those also seniors who are here, and it is good for some consultants in India, but altogether it is a business now. So a lot of people, even though people can directly approach the government facilities here and come here, but still people select some of the consultants and come here.
Okay, understood. So in that case, I mean, looking at this from the generational change that happened, then you had skilled people coming in also in other industries, including like yours, banking, IT, and other automotive industry, etc. So then the diaspora, the Malayali diaspora itself grew, right? So looking at this in that point of view, was it a challenge for Kerala Samajam also to address this big group, right? Because now it is changing, the demography keeps changing every 5 years, right? So how did the Samajam kind of manage that?
Yeah, the thing is that, see, as I said earlier, the need was that they wanted to get together, they wanted to enjoy, they exchange their issues and ideas and all that. That started, and in order to cater to the needs, they have even started ladies club, they have even started sports club, they have started dance club. Everything was started that time, and in 1982, Kerala Samajam started the Malayalam school also to teach Malayalam for their next generations, and many of the second generations here, they can read and write also Malayalam.
Oh, okay, great.
Even though they are grown up here, so that is a big thing that they have done, and the Malayalam school is still continuing. Some of the other small initiatives are stopped in between, but still it is continuing. And when we say the big change, the thing is that those who were a part of creating this institution, and they are now on a retired stage, and they have next generations, but this legacy continues, and the association still going strong. And in order to create rooms for the older generations to get together, Samajam already have three setups. One is that Kerala Samajam is a member as a association, and they have there is a sub group called the Senior and Forum. That is for those who are retired now. I mean, they cannot always exchange ideas with the youngsters, or youngsters may not be able to understand them very well. They want their own room for interaction. So this is created in 2016. And the Malayalam school, as you know, every year new kids coming. Some years we have 10, 15 students. Some years we have 30, 40 students. So it depends upon the number of young children who are coming in.
Yeah.
So in general, members who can do their cultural activities, drama, skit, all those things, they can be part of our celebrations. We have already 3 major celebrations every year, like first in Easter, Vishu, Eid, then later in Onam, which is the biggest one, then in Christmas.
Understood.
So there, every age, I mean, old seniors to the small kids can participate in this. Other kids who are learning, who are going to the school, they can also join the Malayalam school.
Understood.
And Malayalam school also have our own activities like going to trip or gathering separately, in addition to the Kerala Samajam activities.
Fair.
And when Kerala Samajam do any activities, always the Malayalam school and Senior have a representation.
Understood. Okay, so just curious about this particular aspect. Like, as you mentioned, growing generation, there are a lot of new, challenges that you as office bearer and your team would be facing, right? So how is this managed? Because as you mentioned, you have your standard activities of cultural exchange and having people getting involved in other activities. But then there is also things that is not in the foreground. There is a lot of background support, community support you have, and also getting in touch with other institutions in Germany for supporting Kerala diaspora, right? Is this kind of extra burden or extra work for your office bearers, and or how are you equipping your team to make sure that these matters are also addressed?
Yeah, that is a challenging part, and it is an interesting part as well. So earlier I have heard that when in 1970s when people came here, even though nurses, they were, mostly ladies came as a nurses, and husbands could not do job because as per the law in Germany, they were not allowed to work for 5 years. I don't know for how many years this continued, but that was the situation. But it is good and bad, because it is bad in the sense that they cannot use their skills. They have to simply sit their home. Okay, of course, taking care of the kids are there. But the good thing is that it created a lot of bond between families, because they got a lot of time. They can spend quality time for kids, families, and they could spend quality time for the well-being of the community. That is why in the initial stages, Samajam was very strong, because there was a huge bond between the members and the families. Now also it is there, but it is entirely changed. Now we are all in the current executive committee. If you check, all are working. Their wives are also working. So it is. I mean, earlier they had more time to spend for the association. Then they could manage even small or big activities. But now the time we can spend, the current executive committee or the last 10 years executive committee, if we say, time is less that they can spend for the association. But still, we are all trying to maintain. It is not even a single activity we have reduced, but we have increased only the activities. But only thing is that we have to spend extra time for this. I mean, that creates something like a interest also. If you are interested in doing this, then only you will come to this committee, part of this committee, or working goes with the committee. Otherwise, if you are not interested, just come for the program and go. Yeah. So that way, I mean, it is working well, same like earlier days, and we have not cut down any programs.
And obviously, the methods will also change, right? Because before you had to send it by post and all those things. But
yeah, that is a big thing, because earlier I heard that, I mean, people, when they have to organize a program, they don't have a facility to call. When calls were very expensive. They will say, buying postcards, writing the invitation, sending it, then wait for their reply whether they come or not. And that is for simply attending the program. Think about organizing a program. If you have to do a drama, then you have to do a lot of rehearsals. So people in different locations have to come here, and they have to be intimated with these letters and all. Then they come here, then they get together, and they will do it. It was very difficult. Now it is very easy. The thing is that write a mail. Even without writing a mail, if you post in the public idea, then everybody will see it.
Understood.
So mail is I think nobody reads mail that much. People see in the post Instagram or WhatsApp it is, and they come to the program. So it is that part. It is quite easy, and all the difference is also there. Earlier, the number of people who were part of this association were not bigger. I mean, in the sense that they were 200, 300 all. Yeah. So, and they were all supportive, and they were doing everything together. Even I think till 2000, I don't know the exact year, but our biggest celebration is Onam, and the Sadhya was prepared by the volunteers. The executive committee cannot do all these things. All the seniors and all the experts in the team, they all have to come together, help together. Even kids are also you to come, and then once they do all these things, these big programs were better. And of course, now situation changed. The number has increased. I think first we faced the number increase in 2022 after the corona. I think till before corona, till 2018, 19, we were cooking for their own celebrations. But after that, in 2022, when corona was not there, and again the celebrations started, then we faced a lot of challenges there, because 800 plus people came for the programs, and we have to struggle. Yeah, but that was a learning lesson, and we changed the.
If you look at the number of Malayalis or Keralites in this region itself, if everyone comes together, then you need to fill a full stadium to an or event.
That is true, because as you know, it is. I'm proud to say that most of our Malayalis are well educated and they are well qualified. When they are well educated and well qualified, the interest also come into various fields. So this cannot pack into one association or one group. So they will go into different groups, different directions, and there will be people who like bigger groups. There will be people who like smaller groups, and of course, even when the Kerala Samajam started after 2 years, and I think 1972, they have started the sports activities also. But sports activities, they just turned into a new variety of association. So like that, it may split up, but still the base is there, and the interactions are there, and the number of people we could accommodate, that is also still limited, because all these Malayalis who are in and around Frankfurt only comes to the programs. It is very difficult to accommodate. We have to arrange for different guys. That's why we have started some online ticketing facility at all, because otherwise it is very difficult to manage.
Yeah, I get. Okay, so coming to the outreach activities, and you touched a bit on this Malayalam school. That's Frankfurt Kerala Samajam itself has a long legacy of more than 50 years. Same, I think, for the Malayalam school, it's also having a long history, what I see. And in Frankfurt region itself, I think it can come as one of the oldest Indian language schools, is what I feel, right? So how is that management happening? Are you spinning off a different team to manage that? Or how does it work?
Yeah, so the thing is that the Kerala Samajam Executive Committee cannot always look into the day-to-day affairs of even the Senior Forum or the Malayalam School. So Malayalam School is, there will be a subcommittee, it is called, when one or two teachers will be there. Then one or two parent representatives will be there. They will be managing the daily activities. Only thing is that we facilitate it if they have some support required, help required, or like finding out places or some financial support required. All those things, Samajam will take care of it. And but it is acting like an independent, because they can create because school has a different activities. They have learning, not only learning, they have sports and other extracurricular activities also there, and they need some in every Kerala Samajam programs they can perform. The kids from the Malayalam school can perform their activities. They can do a drama or a dance or theme based activities. They also needs to be trained for that, so that all those activities that form. Yeah, parents or somebody expert in the team, they will do that.
Okay.
Kerala Samajam will support it. Same with the Senior Arun Forum. They have their yearly outings, and they gather together simply for a coffee or something like that, and they have to exchange some information together.
Okay.
They're remembering all the old ages, old time activities, and also they also mix together once or twice. If they need any support, Samajam will go and do the support, and otherwise they can manage their own.
Okay, got it. Yeah, so even for that, this may be a lesson for other Pharaohs who are planning to start like this. So do you think we can also get support from local authorities or also from India government or anything regarding material supply or things like that?
Yeah, in the sense that if we get into things, and if we if you apply with the multicultural amt in German Frankfurt, they will give even financial support also. Of course, you have to give all the details, what are you going to do and all those things. And same with their support only, we managed to get a room for the private school.
Understood.
Yeah, of course you have to pay a rent small amount, but still getting the facility is very difficult. So, and if we want some, even consulate is also supporting in different ways,
Yeah.
financially as well as in whenever we need something.
Okay.
So, Frankfurt city is also supporting it to a huge extent, because when we conduct programs in this big halls or Salbos, it is very costly. So they have to give some subsidized rates. Then only we are at afford. Otherwise, we cannot give low priced tickets to the participants.
Okay, got it.
Guests.
Okay. So we told about Senior Forum and other outreaches, and then obviously there are also emergency situations where you also offer big support in the Kerala floods and Corona time and all.
Yeah,
right.
that is. That is part of this. Even though we have a bylaw, Satsup, and it mentions what all things Kerala Samajam can do, and it is already mentioned, and we have to follow that. At the same time, whenever situation comes, like it is not written in the Satsung that we have to help everybody who asks for the support, but it is all humanitarian basis what we do. And of course, Kerala faced a big issue like a flood, and later on Corona also. Corona was a pandemic all over the world, but still, everybody was supporting their own roads.
Yeah.
So when the flood came, we took permission and we collected some support money and transferred it to India, Kerala. And when in the Corona situation also, when good minds supported us, and we collected some oxygen machines and we send it to some people there in Kerala. The like that we can do. And in addition to that, when some students or people come here, they want some help.
Yeah.
Kerala Samajam information is available in public, so when they contact us, we go with them and find out the issue and try to help, because there is a limitation for that, because data security is a big issue in Germany. Not issue, it is a big matter in Germany, and so to a certain extent, but still we can support. Either we can connect them to consulate, or other we can directly support them. All those things we are doing. Only thing is that there also we are facing some challenges that when help is requested and we try to help them, and maybe they have to disclose all the information, and especially if some in the background, if some misleading activities are happening, like I don't say criminal, but it is not.
So transparency.
Yeah, transparency is, if that is not there, then we have a limitation to support also, because when we approach consulate is considering it as a big way. consultant is giving it a value. Same way when we approach authorities here, they also give a value for that. So if we don't disclose the facts, then we face some issues there. But still, that kind of situations are very less. So, and when people ask for the support, we do that.
Okay, so and I think that, as you mentioned, like most of the office bearers, executive team, they are all working people, and they have to spend a lot of time, not just for the regular satsang activities, but also this additional support that is there, right?
Yeah. I mean, it is not that I mean, when some request comes, only specific person has to go and support. Everybody should. And sometimes we take support from the members also. I mean, it is not that the executive committee alone can do all these activities. And if I see, I am sitting here not because I have done something great. No, it is not like that. For the last 50 years, 55 years, lot of people have done a lot of good things. Part of that, this year I am sitting here. That's it.
That's right. Okay, so coming to that, to our closing remarks, part of this is, as you mentioned, 55 years of legacy is what is there. So do you feel that weight on your shoulder when you're representing?
Yeah, the thing is that, yeah, it is there because now when we do something, we have to think about so many things. How it was done in the past, how our well-wishers were handled, how they were informed, how the activities took place, what was the public reactions. Everything we have to think on that directions. When initially started, they did it. Now they have set a standard. All those standards we have to keep it. We can only improve it. We cannot reduce any of the quality on that. So it is a huge task to be part of this organizing committee, executive committee. But at the same time, it is a proud moment to be part of this community. And of course, the thing is that when we come to the 55th year celebration, actually, 55 is not a round year, but we were planning to do it in 2020, 50 year. But, 2020 March, everything was closed because of Corona. And we planned something, but it was not working. And so 2 years gone, year 21, it was without any activity, it was gone everywhere it was happening. Then we thought of doing some activities in 23. Then 23 was not a round number, so we just waited for 2 years later. Let's celebrate because there are a lot of people who have done good work, who have put a lot of efforts behind this organization. They are all here with us, and then we have to recognize them. So now, if we see the round year, then we can celebrate maybe 75. But again, it is a lot of years later, 20 years later. So then we thought of that, let's celebrate it in a small way. If it comes to big way, we planned also very late after that for this. And I would appreciate if all of the well-wishers, Malayali community and other communities who can come for this event. And we have planned not a very big event, because the thing is that when we start the thought of planning it, when we thought then, okay, we have to give something, not if we arrange a big program like calling them seniors, stars or singers or whoever and do celebrate, the cost will be very high.
Yeah, understood.
Then that cost has to be spread with the tickets to be participants. So
Understood.
that way it will be. So we thought of doing a small activity. So we have a lot of talents in our association itself. So we are using that talents, and additionally, there are some Malayali communities who are on a big way here. They are using their services, and we are arranging a Ganamala for that. Earlier, Ganamalas used to happen here with the Karavai. So we have a lot of us. We're playing instruments, and also same like what we do in Kerala. So we are planning to do that. So altogether, a 3-4 hour program, but still it is. See, when we think about the Malayali community here, of course, nurses started with that, but we have a lot of doctors here, a lot of engineers here, a lot of IT professionals here, and in the service industry also a lot of people are there. A lot of people are doing business also.
Yeah, and in the second generation, we also have politics people in this.
There are a few people in politics also, and because they all brought up here, so they are German skill. Working here, it is very necessary that you should have the German skills.
Yeah,
So
understood.
they have developed it, and that way, I mean, of course, we have a quality in our blood itself. So that is now spread across the industries.
Okay.
And if you go to Frankfurt is, I think it would be small. I mean, other cities are much, much bigger, but the Malayali community is spread across Germany. If you go to any city now, you can see Malayalis there. Mostly students, and but still on a there are a lot of people in the government office also. There are some mayors also. One person is a mayor in a small city.
Yeah, great. I mean, I think that's a great note to end the conversation, because as we say in Kerala, we say that even if you go to the moon, there would be a Malayali in a tea shop. So that is always a trend. We spread to different areas, and we grow in whichever areas that we Malayalis move into. I may be a bit biased when I say that, but yeah, so that is one fact that I've always seen. But again, Kerala Samajam having a long legacy, having a humble beginning, and but still maintaining that legacy and structure, and in the office bearers that is still being continued. So I think these are learnings for other ferines, and then they're building up themselves also over here. So appreciate your time, Mr. Dipinbal, for spending this time with us, sharing those learnings of yours, and we wish you a nice celebration in your 51st year, and yeah, looking forward to more.
Yeah, thank you, Arun, for inviting me to here, because as I said earlier, I'm not sitting just because of me. I'm sitting here because of a lot of people who worked behind. And let's see if we our 45th anniversary celebration, we want to do it in a grand way. Thank you all for thank you for inviting us here. Let's see how it is going.
Bye bye.
Thank you.